whatever anybody's politics listening or watching now on YouTube, Adam Posen, post-Trump, is there a reversion to some form of post-Trump Washington consensus, globalization, business as usual, or is there a permanence to this upset?
It's the big question, Tom, and I'm not trying to stall. I think the answer is it's still to play for. I think depends partly how badly things go over the next couple of years, that you could get a real blow up economically as well as politically, and that would lead to a repudiation of Trump. But even then, it's still to play for whether that means a different form of populism or a return to rule of law and mainstream economics.
Dr. Posen,
that's why I'm out here talking with you, and your program's important.
Adam, one final question, if we could. Paul Sweeney grew up on the lawns of Princeton in all of middle New Jersey. You darkened the door of Cambridge. I mentioned, Adam, I don't know if you mentioned it. How many times, Adam, have you been in the Tasty in Harvard Square a few years back? I mean, you know, you were in there on one of the stools.
I liked Elsie's much better than the Tasty. So I was only, and I was an early night person. So I was only in the Tasty a couple times. I was in Elsie probably once every week or two.
This president is going after our universities that gave us people like Maurice Obstfeld, gave us Ken Rogoff, gave us Adam Posen. How do we get beyond this threat to higher education, or is some of the president's criticisms valid?
It's insane, no matter how valid the criticisms may or may not be, and I'm not going to touch that because I'm not an academic, thank God. But destroying the research capacity of the greatest research complex in human history that has been the source of American advantage and well-being and defense capacity for 80 years is possibly the most destructive thing the Trump administration is doing. And I don't mean just Harvard, and I don't mean worrying about supposed anti-Semitism, although I think that's not what really motivates them, but who the heck knows. I think you're destroying National Institute of Health. You're destroying biomedical research across the board. You're undercutting standards for research by having an HHS secretary who makes stuff up in contrast to all known research. I mean, I could just spew on this sputtering for hours. This is the golden goose for the U.S. economy, for the world's well-being, and we are destroying it. And that's where the UK and a few other countries, including Japan, Singapore, Australia, Germany, we have to hope step up and find a home for talent and find the money, because this is something we can't replace.